Meanwhile, Virginia Beach City Council could soon create a process to give city employees a chance to file a grievance against a high-ranking leader.
Now, this comes a month after Only 10 on Your Side brought you a story about a confrontation between City Manager Dave Hansen and a patrol officer. 10 on Your Side's Jason Marks is on top of the fallout from City Hall. Jason, bring us up to speed now.
Well, Tom, Dave Hansen admits he could have handled the situation better than he did last month. We know that because 10 on Your Side has obtained an audio recording of Hansen's apology to the officer behind closed doors. Now from the recording, there are some new concerns about the city manager's actions. What started with a confrontation at a Virginia Beach work zone could end at City Hall with a new grievance process for city employees.
It was disappointing and surprising.
The Virginia Beach Police Benevolent Association is asking for City Council to make changes after City Manager Dave Hansen's dealing with a patrol officer last month.
Officers are held to a very high standard, integrity-wise, as well they should be, and I think that that should hold true for elected or appointed officials.
August 6th, crews were repaving a portion of Princess Anne Road. Officer Dave Steele was directing traffic and was asked by workers to shut the road down. Minutes later, Hansen pulled up on the scene and didn't like what he was seeing. He ordered Steele to open up traffic. Steele says he felt as if he was getting berated by Hansen, and Hansen said to him if he couldn't get the job done, he could find someone else who could. 2 days later, Hansen put out this memo to City Council, and his office sent it to 10 on Your Side. He wrote the officer's response was unsatisfactory, so he made the on-the-spot correction.
I wish the city manager had met with me before he sent this out.
Mayor Will Sessom told 10 on Your Side he had no reason to question the manager's explanation. A week later, the officer and Hansen met behind closed doors. Hansen had a far different tone from what he wrote in the letter.
I was abrupt, rude, and probably most discourteous to you, and I just want to apologize.
The 28-minute conversation between Steele and Hansen was recorded. It was cordial, and then Steele brought up the memo. He told Hansen he felt as if he questioned his integrity, and he asked how Wavy got a copy.
I don't know if you released this to Wavy TV 10?
No, oh no, this is a confidential document to the city council in a closed scenario, and who releases this? Are those council members that like to stir the pot?
Yes, sir.
If you think all 11 council members, some of which are running for election, and some of them don't want them reelected,
yeah.
And I'm not going to mention names because those are my bosses.
I had no clue.
I deal with them.
In fact, it wasn't council that leaked the memo. Hansen asked the communications department to send it to 10 on Your Side.
I'm disappointed that inadvertently in his judgment, he falsely pointed the direction at the city council.
10 on Your Side brought the recording to the mayor and asked for his response.
It was totally inappropriate. That comment should not have been made.
I think it confirms that the city council as a body needs to fully investigate what took place and do fact-finding and then make its own determination.
Moss is also calling for council to create a process where employees can go straight to council members for grievances against elected or appointed leaders, and those grievances would then be looked into.
The City Council of Virginia Beach does not currently have a process in place to deal with employees who may or may not have an issue with the city manager. Do I think we should have such a process? Yes.
I don't argue that. As a matter of fact, I believe that we've agreed that within either 60 or 90 days, we will discuss to see what type of process we want.
10 on Your Side wanted to sit down with the city manager after several days of asking. He finally agreed to talk, but then canceled yesterday, the morning of the interview, saying he would not comment on personal matters. Mayor Sessom says the council discussed the city manager's situation yesterday during a closed session, and he could not tell me about the outcome because that too is a personnel matter. Jason Marks, 10 on Your Side.